Adrian, tell me about Tetra speakers. How did that come about? What's going on with these things?
Well, it came about because it's my, I'm certain, life journey. This is what I'm here to do. And the reaction we've had to it tells me that. Yep.
Yeah.
So it started very young. When I was 10 years old, I took my dad's Wharfdales apart, took the woofer out, cut parts out, destroyed his speakers, didn't put them back together. Wasn't sure if I was going to get a shock from it, but that was the beginning, wrecking his speakers. All through high school, I would buy speaker building kits and get them shipped from UK, Scandinavia, the wood, 1-inch MDF, right? Shipped over, huge money for a teenager, but that was my thing. The part of the speaker design that I didn't touch was the crossover inside, which is really the central nervous system. And it decides, or you decide what that is going to do, and it's the amount of bass and the amount of highs and putting them together so it acts as one. And that is what I do. I do it without test equipment. I do it with my ear and my noggin and a little divine intervention, I think.
Tell me a little bit about the two models that you have here at the Tesla Medicine Show. And I know you've got Rob Favoni, who's come up with you to
Yep.
demonstrate his real feel. So, but tell me a little about the 606s and the 333s.
Yes. So the 606 is our top model. Really, if you want the impact of going to a club in your house, you know, that's the speaker. The impact is great. Now the thing about Tetra is you don't get penalized for not buying the biggest. You will get the same sound quality, just not as much oomph, but it's still distortion-free listening. That's what people here are reacting to, because distortion kills and puts you on edge. So that is what bothers you about when you listen to music now. There's a lot of distortion in the different devices we have, right? And it becomes background. And music is, to me, therapy. So you have to make it a tool for therapy. The fact that it's distortion-free goes right to your being. And that's what people react to.
And is there anything else you want, like, tell me about, like, Tetras or the journey that you have, or what the plans are, like, moving forward? Like, you want?
I'm on the path. I honestly look at myself as a luthier, making guitars. These are speakers that play all the instruments. Yes. And when you order a Tetra, it's made for you. When you call Tetra, you speak to me. I get to know you. I know everyone who buys, and the reaction's always the same. It's, Adrian, I have a big music collection. I've been a music fan all my life. I bought stuff, sold stuff. But Tetra speakers brings out more than 50% of the music that I wasn't hearing. So it's actually reinvigorating their collection, and then also getting them to go out and explore new stuff.
And what's the difference between the digital and the analog vinyl, you know, or analog tape, or the digital? How is that for you? I know Rob Favoni is talking about that with the real feel.
Yes, that's a great invention. So when CD first came out, everyone said it was perfect and all the same, right? And there were people with very expensive turntables that did things a certain way to extract the information off the vinyl, right? And you spend a lot of time setting that up if you're an audio person. CDs, it came out, they're all the same. So you just bought one. And the truth is they're not. So when you compare a CD to vinyl, the vinyl will win, in my mind, on Tetra speakers. If you buy equal level quality of CD player to your turntable, it's hard to tell. And especially on Tetra speakers, because they're distortion-free, right? So if you get the distortion in the front, you're not going to get it added at the back, right?
Well, and the magic, from what I'm understanding too, it's in the crossover.
Yeah, it's so there's two ways to do that. You can buy a software package, and you can tell the software, I'm using this bass driver and this tweeter, and it'll spit out what you need to do, the size of box, the length of the port, and the parts you need to put inside. The original crossover designer, because I was an audio salesperson, I I would sell the latest and greatest. And the thing at my store that I owned, I could never sell to musicians. And I thought it was because they just as soon spend their money on a new instrument, a bow, whatever, an amplifier for their guitar. And when I came up with Tetra speakers, that all changed. And my life changed, because when you're selling audio and you can't sell to musicians, it's not very fulfilling, right? So now with Tetra, when musicians hear it, the wallets open up. Turns out they have money, right? And that's just a really, to be able to do that. And for them, Tetra, Ron Carter, for example, when he bought his pair of Fraboni 606s, our top model, I went to visit him, and he said, Adrian, I've been in the Kind of Blue studio 50 times, probably 100 times now. He's in the Guinness Book of Records, most recorded bass player. And he says I'm the most recorded jazz player, because there is no other music, right? It's all jazz to be music. But he said, Adrian, I'm in the studio, I set my bass up, the reflection's off the wall, I hear it, it's all good. I go in the control room, it's there. But when I get the product, the CD, whatever, it's gone, it's all for naught. When the Tetras came along, he said, Adrian, I'm hearing everything I did. So what Tetra does for the musicians that have Tetra is it preserves their music. So when people buy Tetra, they know they're hearing it right, and they've got also the musicians saying, yeah, this is what I did. I had one gentleman come, Montreal Symphony, and he was a French horn player, second French horn, I guess. He came to Tetra and he brought his CD with Charles Dutoit, and he said, play track 3. And so we played track 3, and the French horns came in, he got up, and he says, I've never heard myself on a recording, and that's me. You know, wow.
Different.
So
it's something special.
It's very fulfilling, and just to be on the level. No one has ever heard these and say, I don't get it. I've been to Quincy Jones's house with Herbie Hancock. He's never heard it like this before.
Well, that's on your website, like the guys that are using your speakers. Who's on your website?
Yes, so Herbie Hancock, Keith Richards, Dee Dee Jackson from Canada, Vazy Tayeb, right?
Oh, Vazy's got the
Vazy's got a pair of 505s.
I love Vazy, he's cool.
Yeah. Dave Holland, Miles Davis. We've got about 8 Miles Davis players. They all tell each other.
You saw the video I shot with Dave Holland and Herbie back
yeah, that was
2003
great.
at Massey Hall.
Nicely done, yeah, they have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adrian, thank you so much.
Thank you, Keith.
Yes.
Great show.
Yeah, thank
well
you so
done,
much.
my friend.